new stick adjustment philosophy, okay? Changing the rates of your sticks. Is it worth the effort, or should you just leave them where they are? Okay, so what I want to do right now, and what I've come out here to do, is to kind of tweak my stick settings. I've found several different setups. I think there's two ones that I'm going to give it a shot with today. One is more of a low end, where all the settings are extremely low, and to me that's a little bit kind of questionable. So I'm going to try one from an FPV pilot, somebody that really likes a lot of stick control. We'll probably throw it in the FPV pilot sensitivity first. Now the default rates for the FPV, and I'm just going to read them off: 160, 420, 54. So those three settings are going to 54.54, of course, the highest being 100%. The last, probably the more important of the numbers, the Expo number. The Expo number is going to change when your stick kicks in and when it drifts out of your highest rates, and then you can set your pitch and yaw rates at, I think, was it up to 1,000 as well, which is crazy fast. But I've got one that goes as high as 800, so that's double the rate of where I'm at currently. And then I've got one that brings it down just below the rate that is suggested by DJI. So I'm gonna try those two. So the first one I'm gonna do is the higher of the two rates. So here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and plug those in, and we're just gonna take a short flight using those new numbers. So here we go. Most of these do not change the stick sensitivity number, so I'm gonna check that out really quick. So first thing first is to get our goggles on, get the drone set up, and we get her going. But today, like I said, we're not going to fly as much. We're just gonna tweak settings. So I'm going to set this down right there, and I've got my drone friend showing up today, who's a farmer. How you doing? And he's going to go feed his cattle today. What a good dude. He's the guy that I had a conversation with a while ago about drones. Really good dude. So he lets me fly here, and really good people in this town. So all right, so let's go ahead and boot up. Let's get a battery in here, and we will boot up my first drone, and get her started. Oh, it would help if I would plug in the bad boy. There we go. I've done that before. All right, here we go. So there we go. So let's go set her down. She's not the star of the show today. Well, she is the star of the show, but in a different way. Actually, let's put her over here. Hey, I'm calling her. That's a big step when you start calling your quadcopter by a girl's name, because you actually getting a little bit attached to it. All right. So let's go ahead and do some goggle checks. Let's go with big battery. Like I said, I've got this battery with me. I've actually been kind of goofing with using it. It's kind of nice. I always keep it, I keep it ready, on the ready, so I can switch to it. I've done a couple of different setup changes. One is a different I've got a different strap coming for my goggles. That's and I put the lighter foam on my goggles too right there. And I cut out the nose piece because this is where it pinches, so I'm still adjusting that. This is where it squeezes against the sides of your nostrils and makes it tough to breathe. That's the one thing about the foam inserts. Got to watch out for that. It makes it a little bit difficult to breathe. So here we go. Let's go ahead and get everything set up. Drone down there is just in power mode. Go ahead and return the hat to the backwards position, the correct position for flying. Take the glasses off, and let's go ahead and adjust to our first. Now this is the FPV setting, and so we're going to look at this first one. The first one is we leave it at 160, which is the current center sensitivity, and we're going to change. Roll, pitch, and yaw, we're going to put at 800, 700, and 800. So 800 roll, 700 pitch, and 800 yaw. And the Expo will be adjusted to 0.65, okay? So 878 and 0.65. Here we go. All right, we're going to see if it'll let us take off. It will. All right, so this is those new settings with the higher rates and the a little bit more higher Expo. Now, it's been a while since I've flown, but this doesn't seem like it's. See if you can tell in the video. I think the only way we can really make a noticeable is by doing some aerobatics. There we go. There, a little quicker, yeah, much quicker with the rolls. And we can go like that. That's kind of cool. That's pretty nice. I think that's kind of you know, that's nice change so far. I'm not disliking Kazi FPVs. Rate adjustments. There you go, a little spin there. Ooh, that's a nice smooth roll. I really dig that. I really dig that roll. That was a nice smooth roll transition. And you know, there's not much I can do to speed this up, so I'm thinking that DJI's really kept their rates throttled down. And there's a nice smooth roll. Not bad. Gosh, I'm almost afraid of changing it at this point. There's that red dot that is getting a little bit annoying. But so far, you know, not bad. Let's get down here in these trees where it's getting green and pretty. We're getting down there. Remember, I'm only at 15 degrees. Let's go around that tree right there. Bring her back. Wow, that's really nice. Like I said, I'm not disappointed at all. I'd have to really test this in a cinematic setting. So I'm going to bring it back here. I'm going to go ahead and so those are a little bit, I would say a little bit better. I'd say a lot nicer. Let's go ahead and put her into sport mode. Bring her home. There might be a little less shaking, maybe. A lot of people are afraid of doing the old hand snatch here. There we go. Guys, it's not that hard. Okay, all right. So there's setting number one. All right, so we're gonna ponder that for a while. I'm gonna shut the video off. To me, not a lot of change. I think it did feel smoother with the higher settings. Now I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to bring them way down and see what happens. And like I said, we'll check it out. See what you think. All right, this next setting is from, now the first one was from Dji Fpv. This one's from FPV Unlocked. This is a totally different philosophy. This is going backwards. So they changed their stick sensitivity down to 100, and then all of their other parameters, roll, pitch, and yaw. So you've got 350, 350, 300, and then their Expo setting, which is really interesting, is 0.25, 0.25, 20. And these guys claim to be, you know, pilots teaching other pilots to learn how to fly FPV. So we're going to check this out. So what I'm guessing is this might be a more kind of sludgy stick sensitivity. I really like Dji's right now. So, and you know, if you fly other FPV quads, that's you're used to a different type of stick feel. So let's go ahead and do that. I've got just enough battery in the FPV to set up the controller. Here we go. All right, I'm back. Let's go ahead and switch out our batteries. I've got the new settings, and this is from FPV Unlocked, so we'll see what those guys have to say. Now, a lot of us are thinking about doing this, and I think it's important that we see the quad fly in the same video with all of these different flight settings. So here we go. This is the lower adjustments. Now, a lot of you guys that fly a lot probably understand the philosophy behind how you adjust your settings, because there's multiple ways to get similar flight characteristics. So here we go. Let's give it a shot. Let's go ahead and get her back on the ground. Man, all right, I'm excited today. I'm excited to kind of dial this in and see, who's got the better of the settings, at least from my perspective. You know how I fly. Everybody kind of has an understanding of what flight types I prefer. I like to have a lot more smooth, flowy feel, and I think Dji's setup was pretty good. I like the way the drone rolled and pitched. I really like that. So here we go. Let's check these out and see if we've got a big difference. I'm liking the feel of the foam, but still pinching my nose. I got to take some of that pinch out of there, but it's definitely making it, there we go. I can see all the data. Everything's good. I see the center of the screen the best, and that's all that matters. So let's go to manual. Okay, we are at 14 degrees. Let's go up to 15. Let's make sure we have it, especially with this lower rate. All right. All right, so here we go. So this is the FPV Unlocked rates. So here we go. See what these guys have to offer. If I feel much of a difference, let's do some turns. See if I get more flowy turns. At this point, I am not feeling like a huge bit of difference. It's up to you. When you see the video, how you perceive it is probably everything here. So that really what's going to test the flight characteristics the most are going to be things like these things, like the rolls. So there's my roll characteristic. Let's go ahead and let's get some altitude and do some, ooh man, front rolls are freaky. Most people like to do back rolls. It's kind of like when you're a kid, one you can see versus the one you can't see. Are you noticing any like jitters? Can you see my stick commands coming in? That's a big one. I'm feeling pretty good about both of these settings. I think from the perspective of the setter, the person that made the settings happen, it looks like definitely you're getting more with the higher gain rates on the first. I would use both of these settings. to be quite honest. I would use both of these. I'm not seeing anything like really like monumental as far as how I'm flying, unless you see like my stick inputs, you know, that's the big thing. I really like them both. I would fly both with both, you know, with both character, you know, with both settings. I mean, and you can tell I'm really getting the hang of flying this thing. It is really fun to fly. And you know, anybody that's kind of a downer on this thing, I just don't understand it. Let's get down here. Let's get down. Now, what Kazi was saying, FPV or Cozy, that could be Cozy FPV. But what he was saying is that he likes it because he likes to fly down low. He likes to get down in this kind of a situation where he's, you know, really challenging like brush and things like that. And I think this one definitely is spongier when it comes to that. I don't have that snappy turn. Well, that's not bad. That's a pretty snappy turn. Can I fly smooth? That's another one. Can I get it like really smooth? Do you see my thumb, like, because I'm a thumber, can you see my thumb inputs? And that's, you know, that's a big one. You know, do you see the thumb input of the flyer? You know, anyway, I think I'm done with this video. And kind of proved the philosophy. Go ahead and get her into of whether I think what I'm going to do is fly with Kazi's rates first, and you can see the difference. I'm going to fly with his rates first, and then I'm going to go back and switch out. She wants to land. I'm going to go ahead and switch out after a longer period of flight time. Here, let's bring it over here to me. Oh, wait a second here. Yeah, come back here. All right. We're in manual. Come on here. Come on. Bring her back. She wants to land. There we go. She wanted to land. All right. Okay. All right. I'm going to stop for a second. I'm going to think about this, and we're going to be right back. Oh, crap. All right. You've seen both flights from the perspective of me and from the perspective of the drone. What do you think? I think I like the first rates better, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to reset them to my first set of stick rates, and then I'm going to fly for a while, especially in a place where I'm going to need a lot of control. And I felt like I got with the higher Expo, I got that control that I wanted in the middle of the stick. And with the second one, it did seem like the rates were slowed down, but DJI definitely has throttled down these rate. I think the overall high and low. And you know, some of the pilots here that are more experienced than me are going to help me explain this. But that I'm trying to give you my perspective because I'm pretty new to FPV, but I'm not new to flying, and I really like a more sensitive stick on turns and on rolls and flips. When I get to the to like a cinematic area, I can still get what I want out of that with a more sensitive stick, but with a higher Expo. So we're gonna see that for in the next couple of weeks, and then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna tell you what I finally decided is going to be my final stick adjustment. But I'm gonna go back to Kazi's setup, and then go back to FPV Unlocked and see what video is just turning out better. And I think that's what it gets down to. You know, videography is everything to me, and the drone is part of that process. And this thing has just been wonderful. I get better and better flying it. I get more and more confidence flying it, and it's going to be in my kit for a while. I don't see me leaving this thing for a while until maybe the FPV2 comes out, maybe a year from now. I'm going to keep this one around. It's definitely worth modifying and continuing to fly for sure. So all right, Dad Random with New stick adjustment philosophy, okay? Changing the rates of your sticks. Is it worth the effort, or should you just leave them where they are? I'm going to tell you right now, I like these two better, these two profiles better than the ones that were preset. I already like it better. Not just because it's new, but I felt a little bit better with the controller. And it's all about how the pilot it has trust in the controller that all the other things get better. So, all right, so Dad Random. A couple of things coming up in my next videos. One is I got new sticks coming. I got longer sticks. We'll see how that works out. The other thing is cases. I actually have purchased a couple of these very inexpensive cases. They have, you see these little orange flaps in here, these DSLR cases. You can totally customize these things, and for just like tooling around for 15, 16 bucks, I bought two of them and it brought the price down a little bit. So I'm gonna configure my gear, and I think it's time to leave the Tupperware behind. So all right, Dad Random, falling in love with the FPV quad. Day after day she's getting better. Later, Ann.